What is up, my fellow coders and non-coders? Today I am going to be doing a simple code review and just showing what I've coded throughout the day and demonstrating my login and logout React front-end forms using React and Axios for the front end and Django REST framework for the back end. Also for the Django REST framework, I am using DJ REST auth as my authentication. So you can check that out. I'll have a link down below if you want to use that package for authenticating with tokens. It's a really good way to do it. It has really easy setup. So it is 3 a.m. in the morning, so if I am sounding a little solemn, I am trying to keep it down and not wake people up in the house. So to excuse the volume. I have my front end and my back end decoupled so that they're kind of mutually exclusive and whatnot. But for the back end, I'm just going to activate my virtual environment real quick and then run server. Okay, now that it's running the server, I can go into the login for the REST framework, and as you can see, I can log in with my credentials. If I make a post request, it returns the token key that I can use to make future post requests and GET requests. And if I go to my other one, to my front end terminal, I'm just going to do an npm start to start my React project. And over here, I just have a simple form. It's a login form. And then I will pull out the components part to show you guys the states that I have for the app.js page, which I am going to be showing you right now. It is this one. It's going to have 3 states: the token, which will store the Django REST framework token, and the user, which is just a username for now, and then the message, which I will capture to show the user that they've either logged in or logged out, or if they've made a bad request, then it'll show that they've made a bad request. And I'm actually going to just pass down my state as props to my login and logout pages, which I will show you, and then they'll work to store the token and the user in local storages, so that my website uses local storage to check if I have a token, and then if I do, I can render out the proper components. So if I do have a token, then I want to be able to log out eventually, and that'll delete the login token, and I'll just show you that right now. Actually, let's go to the login first. So I have my login form over here, which is inside my login.js component, and it's using a controlled form, which if you don't know about in React, if you go to the documentation, and again, I like going to documentations a lot because I'm encouraging everyone to read them because they're super helpful. They're instruction manuals, and you should use them in order for you to learn like the most basic and main concepts. So if I go to forms over here, there's a controlled components section. This is a class version of a form. I'm just using the function form one, and it has the input fields which hold the value of username and password, and then I use that to capture it inside a post request. That'll be triggered by the onSubmit function. So in the post request that I'm using through Axios, I have the URL endpoint here, which I'm using DJ REST auth with. And once I log in with the user and password data, if I get a successful authentication, then I am going to store the token that it gives back into the local storage, And I'm also going to set that as the props, which will eventually be transferred to the state in the apps section. And same thing with the user. And I also send a message indicating that I am logged in as that user. And if I make a bad request, I won't store anything, and I will just send a message back saying that the user has entered invalid credentials. So just to show you guys what that looks like, let's say I'm going to be just like what I did with the Django REST framework over here. I am going to use that same credential to log in. And right now the current state for the token, the username, and the message is null and blank. And if I were to log in, I'm going to use that local storage and props to store these. And over here I have the token, the username, and the message saying that I've logged in as the username. Okay. So these functions over here, set token and set user, is actually the props function. And if I go to the app.js, I've actually passed down the state as props, but the props actually become the state now. Okay. And if I want to log out, going to the logout code right here, the logout component is just a single button with an onClick method. And what it does is it removes all of the local storages that I've set through the login. And I'll just remove them and they'll become null. I set the states as null and blank. And then I just send a message back saying that the user has logged out. So if I were to do this, right now I have the token, user, and a message. I'm going to press logout, which is the logout button or the logout component. And then now it's null, and you have logged out. And I'm back to the form again. And if I make a bad request, I'm going to press login. It just sends an error message saying that you've entered wrong credentials, and it doesn't store anything, and you just got to try again until you have the right information. So that's pretty much it. If you're wondering how to use the login and logouts with Django and React, that's how I would do it. In the future, I may want to add more functionalities, such as a more detailed message for the bad request, and let's see, and probably set a limit of amount of times that I can attempt to log in. So yeah, I think that'll do it for this coding session. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys in the next video. Bye.